And we're back again. I have no idea what happened. The game just kind of... like, the visuals stopped, but audio was fine. Anyway. Do we have... okay.
It's like the director says, confidential and children both start with C. And the director's a puppet, a dirty, rotten, fart person. Dad says my mama went missing in actions. She walked into the city and didn't come back. I don't know what missing in actions is, but I sure wish someone would find her.
I'll help you look, Topher. We'll find your mama together.
Yay! Okay. What happy, wonderful things that means, you know. Okay, we're supposed to go.
Communications. We're on the right track.
Whoa. Okay. Book Club, Samson. Yeah, let's talk about some sci-fi book. Yeah. Yeah, sure, let's go this way.
An object of power. Something close has latched onto it. We need to cleanse it.
Right. Go, 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 go. Go. Gosh, dang it. Right. Okay.
It's harder to hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in the Bureau seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
Okay. 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 Hey.
There you are. You were gone. Cut off. I got it. Just like you wanted, right? This will help me fight the hiss.
Oh, wait. Whoa, crap. Mr. Governor, I called the police, but they never came to my house. I got a problem, and you got to send folk to fix it. Got my wife, one of them. Well, I got my wife, one of them, singing fish on the walls. But it's not a real fish. It sings when you hit a button, but it's got the devil in it. It flies around at night and sings devil songs. It says lots of cuss words. The devil got in my house because of the fish, and you got to come handle it. My wife is real upset. Is real upset. Okay. When can you come? Sincerely, Dwayne Barr. Right, floppy disk. Alright. It's a floppy disk. Must be contained in a cell with no other loose material. The object is an 8-inch diskette containing Soviet-era nuclear launch codes, which we knew about. When bound, the object allows parallel or whatever to telekinetically lift material and throw it a short distance. See Dr. Darling presentation, which we've, yeah. The object is currently bound to blank for research purposes. Stolen from a Soviet military base located in blank by agents blank and blank with the CIA. The diskette contained launch codes to blank missiles, believed to be reserved for use against blank. After being returned to America, the diskette began throwing computational, there we go, hardware. Its members of the decoding team, an informant in the CIA, tipped the bureau off, and it was requestrianed by agents the next day. Okay. Wait. Okay. Hold on. All right. Demolition experts. His Rangers are heroes well trained. Automatic shotguns. Right.
Emily said that the hotline can be reached through the mailroom.
All right. All right.
This must open the door.
Nice. All right. No. Okay. Alright.
You're listening to America Overnight, mystifying the airwaves for more than 29 years. Thank you for staying up with us. Ghosts. We've had many callers over the years tell us of hauntings, voices, and other phantasmagorical phenomena. Today, friend of the show, Dr. Quincy Reagan, tells his story. Quincy.
Thanks. This is something I experienced recently while staying at the Chili Pines Motel in Macon for last year's Suspicion Con. I was in room 47. The night manager, an avid listener of the program, insisted I take this particular room. Now, the manager explained that years back, the body of a man was discovered under the bed, inside that wooden border that motel beds tend to have. Body had been there a week, he said. Guests had stayed there, sleeping with the corpse a foot below them. They only found the body when housekeepers complained about the smell. Hauntings have been reported in room 47 ever since. I happily took the room. I fell asleep pretty quick, checking under the bed first, of course. No ghosts visited me, no chilly spots or flickering lights. But when I woke up, I found myself under the bed. It was dark and stiflingly hot. Luckily, I was able to push the mattress off and crawl out before I suffocated. The night manager was kind enough to find me another room.
There you have it, listeners. What we call ghosts take many forms. Quincy was brave enough to tell his story, and I encourage you to keep calling and writing whenever you encounter something strange, something you can't explain. Maybe you're seeing colors that we have no name for. Maybe your toaster is possessed. Remember, dear listeners, when no one else believes you, we do. America Overnight, we'll be right back.
Awesome. Okay.
To America
So I think the
Overnight, mystifying the airwaves for more than
yeah, the subtitles were not working for some reason. So we've had a thing now of the visual just being weird, and now we've had a thing of the subtitles being weird. Pay attention, Albert. This is the last time I'm explaining this. Internal lockdowns are manually triggered events that lock one or all the sectors by restricting use of the sector elevator, effectively locking staff in the sector until the emergency is handled. They can only be lifted via the directorial override and the maintenance. Once the director is satisfied that the situation is under control, external lockdowns are a bigger deal. Nothing in or out of the whole building. It's only triggered by a code red containment breach based on some complicated systems that security and research slapped together. It can only be lifted once A, the threat has been neutralized, and B, a high clearance individual gives the system the all clear. This process is not the same as the directorial override, so stop saying so in the documentation. I know it's confusing as hell. I've told Darling 100 times to change it, but they're adamant it stays the way it is. Honestly, I don't think they even know how to change it at this point. So, let's just make sure our staff understand how this mess all works, okay? Okay. So yeah, so I can't go in there. Yet. Oh, chill. Come on. Crap. Come on. Really? Okay. Let's just go in here. Right, I remember this. Hey, you were an annoying thing to fight first time.
Great.
Gosh, dang it. I know I eventually get to a point of being super duper awesome. Or not. Alright, and I can't.
They can fly now. Great.
Screw you. Did I get you? Oh, you're just gonna run away.
I have a feeling he'll be back.
Yes, I look forward to
Most
killing him.
important, the hotline should be past the mailroom.
Alright. His tea time is at 7. I'll see you at the course on Monday morning. Tennyson report. Man, apparently there's a bunch of copies drifting around the office. Trench is looking to get his hands on any information about who wrote it. You wouldn't happen to have heard anything about that, would you, Jim? His elevated agents display abilities similar to telekinetic competencies observed in Bureau whatever. Some prefer to charge their target, while others launch objects at them. Telekinetic attacks have been ineffective against the Hiss elevated due to their own talent in the area. They do not use any weaponry except their own paranatural capabilities. Some Hiss elevated have been levitating while strapped into chairs. This is likely the result of individuals being corrupted while undergoing cognitive recording and parapsychology. Big words. How are they able to use paranatural abilities? It is possible that these individuals were bound to objects of power prior to corruption. It's also worth considering that the Hiss resonance can identify and express latent paranatural ability in the individuals it corrupts. Refer to file blank for full report. Neat. Okay. Cool. All right. Already went in there. So we want to go a spate of disappearances was traced to a home in the city of Butte, where Bureau agents discovered a translocative light switch cord. Bureau agents arrived at the home of a local celebrity located at blah 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 blah, which had been connected to a total of blah disappearances in the area. Agents found no one inside while searching a closet. An agent pulled the light switch cord and disappeared from view. Another agent was selected to pull the cord in order to replicate the event. He disappeared as well. Both agents were discovered by the oldest house, blank days later, found in a sealed room by rangers exploring a new area of the house. The light switch cord in the Butte home's closet disappeared during this incident. Interesting.
Alberto Tomasi, head of comms. Pescado.
Alright, take this down. The situation in Cuba has been evaluated by the relevant authorities. The mysterious illness affecting the staff at the U.S. Embassy in Havana was caused by sonic weaponry in the hands of a foreign power. Numerous personnel have damage to the inner ear, but most are expected to make a full recovery. Of course, the event also damaged their cellular walls, but you can't blame that on some stupid noise gun. Thank God no local doctors examined it first. Honestly, what the odds are all to that when you show up inside the U.S. Embassy? Talk about good luck, huh? So much easier to... Hey, are you still recording this? The situation in Cuba has been evaluated by the relevant authorities.
All right.
The hotline can't be far now.
Hotline chamber. Hotline security log. August. Trench, Bill Everett. Custodian, Trench, Bill Everett. Trench, Everett. Trench, Everett, Carol Bishop.
Been here before? No. I've stayed at a lot of roadside motels across the country, on the road, on the run, under the radar. This feels like all of them, like something recognized from a dream.
It's Naruto, no, okay.
Hello? Anyone here?
All right.
Key has a black pyramid on it.
Nice. Okay. Ah. We expect compulsive and weekly calls.
It is a phone. It's an object of power. It doesn't connect to any typical network. A direct line to the astral plane and the board. And my hypothesis is, under the right conditions, to other planes of existence as well.
A director needs a team. My management team. These people know the secrets of the Bureau as well as I do. Some even better. Darling, Tomasi, Salvador, Marshall. Marshall especially, my head of operations. She sees right through me. She knows I don't like relying on people. The only person you should fail is yourself. But things change when you become director.
I have it. The hotline. I can reach Trench. Well, listen to him. He feels more like an echo. An echo with important info. I need to get back to Emily.
Okay. We'll watch these.
It took us a long time to learn how to stabilize the control points, the ley lines, the meridians of the oldest house. Darlin found a way to soothe this beast. We discovered we must cleanse control points of all interference. It's my duty as the director, like Northmore before me. I couldn't manage it in my own house. At my home. I'll damn well do it here. Without the control points, the oldest house would swallow us alive. We'd be sealed inside, then endless labyrinth. No one would hear our screams. If an enemy ever managed to corrupt the control points, it'd be over fast, spreading like a cancer, leaping over the fire breaks like a crown of fire. They are the weak point. Darling's right about that. He's wrong about everything else. Dangerously wrong. Suspiciously wrong. Has he been compromised?
All right.
I can hear the hotline ringing in my dreams, constantly ringing. Ringing so loud I can't hear the voice I'm straining to understand. Why don't I pick up? It's a secure line of communication with the board. They would tell me what I need to know. Do I fear their answers? Would they have warned me of this threat? I didn't see it coming. The traitor in our midst. A conspiracy plotted right behind me. I can't trust anyone. I must assume all my intel has been manipulated. The hotline is the only channel I can trust. Bind it, control it. The rule and the ritual with objects of power. It can't be tampered with. The lifeline to the astral plane and the board. I must seek guidance. Soon. I'll rest first. I'm so tired. Always tired now. But I must reach the hotline. I think I'm under attack. An attack of dementia, exhaustion. It's a brain cloud making me forget. The hotline. I must reach the hotline. A director needs a team. My management team. These people know the secrets of the Bureau as well as I do. Some even better. They have proven themselves. Darling, Tomasi, Salvador, Marshall. Marshall especially, my head of operations. She sees right through me. She knows I don't like relying on people. The only person you should fail is yourself. So I followed my own orders. Northmore hated my guts for that. But things change when you become director. You suddenly see this dark void for the horror show it truly is, filled with screaming fear we pretend to control. Sand leaks through my fingers. The roses I pruned in the garden back when I still had a family, all dead. Heat escapes my body. My thoughts are scattered. The universe keeps expanding. I can't keep up with it alone. When I forget that, things go wrong. And my team has to pick up the pieces. Damage control. To help me get out of my mess. The Ocean View Motel and Casino is a familiar friend to me. I stayed in countless motels like it while investigating AWEs across the country, back in my field agent days. Those roadside motels all bleed together like a dream. Same and not the same. Anywhere and nowhere. The Ocean View operates on dream logic, and the light switch cord leaks out to be found in the most unexpected places, and sometimes successfully encouraged to appear and act as a convenient lock to keep out those not trained in dreamscape navigation. Even Bureau veterans can only find one key in the motel. The key that opens the door marked with the inverted black pyramid. The rest, the many other doors, are still mysteries to us. We're all merely guests there. Even the board. Sometimes I need to visit, just to breathe easier for a while. It beats the numb, sterile apartment I spend my nights in, insulated from everything but myself. I guess that's where the whiskey comes in. Something's coming. The whispers growing louder. The worst winter storm in Bureau history. A retribution for my sins. Our sins. This threat could destroy the Bureau. Everything I've built. Destroy me. A web spun, turning this place against me. I catch glimpses of it in the corner of my eye. It's just out of reach. Elusive. It's clever. A perverse game of hide and seek. Is this part of an attack? Obfuscating the facts. Dimming my eyes. It's hard to tell. I need answers. I haven't heard back from Darling. I fear for my friend, my closest ally. I think we made a terrible mistake all those years ago. That thing he studies is putting us all in danger. It's my duty as director to keep the Bureau safe. It'll be difficult. What's done can't be undone. There's no easy fix. Magical thinking is a requirement for survival. Pain and suffering are mandatory. To change things, you have to break yourself. I don't know if I have the strength. I'm old and weak. I'm afraid. I can see my hands trembling. I'm losing control.
And that's that for that. We watched this. Case files hotline. Object should be inaccessible for use, except to the director. Object is a 1960s era red backlight telephone. The rotary dial has been replaced with a small black knob of unknown purpose. The phone weighs blah, 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 blah. The object allows the director to communicate with the blah, blah, blah. If used by anyone other than the director, the object will cause lethal blah, blah, blah. The object is currently bound to Director Trench. The object spontaneously manifested in the director's office, placed on the desk. Director Northmore was the first known Bureau agent to use it. A battery of tests were run on the object, including blah, 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 and blah, 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 but its origin remains unknown. Bum, bum, bum.
People react strongly when I tell them about you. Is it too soon to tell Emily? She might be able to help.
Oh. Hold on. All
Jesse,
right.
did you get the hotline? I mean, how is it out there? The comms, the hiss? Sorry, you made it.
Emily? Let's talk.
Of course.
I got the hotline. I could make out what Trench is saying.
Incredible. What did he say?
He talked about his management team. People who knew the Bureau's secrets. Your boss, Darling. Tomasi, but he's gone. He's gone. Salvador?
He's the head of security.
And Marshall?
Helen Marshall is head of operations. She's tough, ex-CIA. She took her Rangers and went to the research sector to secure the HRA production. She hasn't come back.
Someone who could help us. The other sectors. How do I get there?
It's impossible because of the internal lockdown. You can perform a directorial override to lift it, but that can only be done in the maintenance sector. Normally, you take the sector elevator down there. It connects all the sectors, but it won't work while the lockdown is in effect.
We already got past one lockdown. Maybe I can find a way.
Jesse, look, with no prep, no training, in this extreme situation, you are doing phenomenally well. And all that and the hiss can't seem to affect you. I mean, I would love to run some tests on you. If you agree, that is. We could find out something that would help us.
Tests? I don't know. She might find out about you. But I wouldn't mind understanding more myself. Okay. If you think it will help.
Great. I'll check the internal documentation for any lockdown bypasses. We need to get these sectors open to locate Darling and Marshall.
And I'll look for a way inside the maintenance sector. The sooner we find one, the sooner I reach this override.
Ah, yes. Okay. So is there anything else? Initial impressions. of Hiss Threat Part 1. Initial encounters with the entity known as the Hiss have revealed various behavior. Most notably, the Hiss is able to invade or corrupt control points, altered items, and even humans, radically changing their behavior. Curiously, any person wearing one of the wearable HRA devices that Dr. Darling has been distributing over the past weeks was not affected by this corruption. The only known exception of this fact is the new director, Jesse Faden, who possesses an inherent immunity to the Hiss. This could indicate that she has already been corrupted, but her behavior is so in contrast to that of the other Hiss that I have dismissed the theory. My final observation comes from Miss Faden herself. She is able to cleanse the material and organisms of the Hiss corruption. We tested this ability of it on a Hiss corrupted entity, but unfortunately the process seems to kill the host. Perhaps the host's psychological... If his physiology becomes reliant on the Hiss, more work to be done. Refer to blah 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 for full report. Wait. Right. All right.
Do you hear that? Someone's singing. Where's it coming from?
Singing. Sounds like it's coming from an elevator.
Objects up to 20 feet. Bullshit. You never recorded any distance over 5. Obviously, you never read the P6 data.
All right. Finally. Yeah. Abilities. All right. Yay. See, so there's also these board countermeasure things we can do, like doing certain tasks and whatever. We're not going to do like all of them because they're basically just kind of radiant, I guess you can say. Radiant questy. Not really, when you get stuff out of them, and but yeah. Let's see. So yeah, so let's see. All right. Alright, so yeah, so like I said, I'm going to call it right here. It's all really good. Good start. And yeah, we'll pick it up from here. Go towards the elevator. Hopefully my controller will be alright next time. I don't know why it was being strange. I don't know. But yeah, so thank you everybody for watching, and until next time.